All right, we got to see Desmond Ridder and the Atlanta Falcons kind of struggle against the Jacksonville Jaguars. There were some good moments. We'll talk about the good moments. We'll talk about the bad moments. Talk about everything and what went wrong in this neutral site here in Andy's room. Let's start off over here. The first interception on today, what's going to happen is it's a zone coverage play, and you see the concept, and it's a pretty solid concept. The way it works is you have one toy run underneath towards the sideline, another toy is going to run a little bit further. I'm not going to say toy every time. Two receivers, one's going to run, sort of just flat route towards the sideline, the other one runs kind of over the middle, and with ideally only one defender in the area, at least to start, you basically throw it to where that defender doesn't cover. There is a corner who could come down and make a play, so you have to be aware of that as well, but as a whole, it can be a safe way to get a few yards here. Watch as Ridder's going to take the snap. He is going to look over in that direction, and you see, looking at this, the flat route, the one going towards the sideline, that's the open play. That's the one that looks to be open. Instead, Ridder, he reads this play wrong, and, the corner, Darius Williams, had stepped down to try and make a play happen. So he's able to move up here. You see where he's at now. Have to pause it because typically you can't play a clip for too long for copyright reasons. Not exactly sure how that works for the Toy Story version of football, but I'm still going to pause it in general because of that. But you see, Williams is able to get into the end zone for a touchdown here. So it's just it's a mistake by Desmond Ridder. And the reality is at the NFL level, especially if you're someone like Desmond Ridder, where I think the whole appeal of a Desmond Ridder is, okay, he's not going to be a superstar. You're not expecting him to be a superstar. You're hoping he can be like a Ryan Tannehill type quarterback. Just do enough. That's what you're hoping he can do. And if you're going to be that type of quarterback, the just do enough type of quarterback, you can't make these mistakes. You just can't. Ryan Tannehill, when he makes those mistakes, they lose the football game, right? So for Ridder, you have to be a little bit more clean than that, and you can't make those errors. This one is a little bit more forgivable in my opinion. So the way it works is it's kind of a classic Arthur Smith play. It's zone coverage. They're going to run a play action, not in the traditional sense, but still fake as though it's a handoff to get linebackers to move in and then throw over the top. So you can see why that could work, right? If those linebackers are cleared out and moved in and you can throw over the top, you can see why this could result in a completion. But watch how when Ridder does, fake as though this is going to be a pitch back, throws over the middle, linebackers were out of position. That part of the play action part worked. The issue is just that, you run these plays often enough, teams are going to start to notice. And this is something where, Andre Cisco on this play, you see how he recognizes the concept and is going to move in. It's not inherently a bad thing because you can then try to play stuff off of that. And again, you hope that your quarterback notices that Cisco is crashing in and doesn't make this throw. But again, at the same time, he is running the offense the way it was designed to work on paper. Just another example of sometimes on paper doesn't actually work out, and the best players are the ones who read that and don't make these throws. Ridder does make the throw, and Cisco is able to make the play. So again, it's like for someone like Desmond Ridder, if you're going to be the guy who just doesn't make mistakes, if that's going to be your, if you're going to be the game manager, you can't make those mistakes then. And, for Arthur Smith, it's like, I think it's fair to say this was a play call where the defense was on it, so you can put some criticism on him. I still think Arthur Smith's great, just on this play, it didn't quite work out. Now, I don't want to turn this into a complete Desmond Ridder bash fest. There were some good plays, right? How about this one? It's Drake London one-on-one on the outside in a man coverage situation. So, okay, one-on-one matchup on the outside. Let's see what happens. Watch as Ridder is going to take the snap. You see Drake London. He has the outside leverage, and this is a good play by Ridder of reading and understanding how this is working, because I do think a lot of young quarterbacks kind of view it almost as if it's Madden, right? It's as if it's a video game. You just press the button and throw it to that player. Not necessarily thinking how you throw it to the player, just who do you throw it to, but how you throw it to them is often just as important. So with Drake London, with the outside leverage, Ridder is going to make sure he throws it there. And as you see, it's a perfect ball caught for a touchdown. To me, maybe looked like it hit the ground a little bit. I don't know, but they ruled it a touchdown. So, okay, good job by Desmond Ridder. Good job by Drake London to be able to make that happen. Great work by them. Yes, obviously the animation didn't quite get that. It was a very good play by Ridder and by London. Heading over here, this is another just kind of example of why things just weren't as clean for Atlanta a lot of times in this game. You know, something like this where what's going to happen is it's a second down and 14. So right off the bat, a tough situation. But because of the fact that you know that the defense is going to be playing pretty far off, you can sometimes use that to your advantage to at least set up a much more manageable third down here. Because again, you know, honestly, with where you're at, down 10 points late in the third, if it's close enough, you could even go for it on a fourth down situation. But right here, you know, second down and 14, the defense for Jacksonville here playing quarters coverage. You see that once again, it's a Drake London route, just trying to, you know, running this curl route. And so, okay, sure, let's get some yards. Watch as you're going to see Ridder is going to take the snap. He's going to look in that direction, and there is, you know, there's an opportunity to make this completion. There absolutely is. Also, correction, this is not Drake London. This is a tight end. But anyway, you see how, okay, stop right here. This could be a completion. So this is timing. This is just make sure that you and your tight end are on the same page and can make this throw, you know, well. It's timing more than anything. But as you see on this play, Ridder throws this one before his tight end cuts, and just to show another angle of the real footage, that is actually what happened. It wasn't an animation error like the last one. So, you know, these are the kind of little things you want to make sure that you are working on if you're Desmond Ridder. You want to make sure that you can just hit those consistently. Because again, to make the Tannehill comparison, which is what a lot of people kind of talked about, as obviously Tannehill was very good in the Arthur Smith scheme. That's kind of what people were hoping Ridder could be. And people are still hoping that. I'm not saying he can't or anything like that. Just that, you know, these are the kind of things you have to get down. Tannehill didn't miss these throws. You can't miss these throws if you're Ridder. And listen, I don't want to be too hard on the guy. I mean, for God's sake, there were aliens at the game, all right? I can't completely crush him. I mean, I don't know how I would handle the pressure of knowing there's aliens and flying saucers above me the whole time. Like, you gotta give him some leniency, of course. Totally understandable. So yeah, as a whole, what do we make of this poor Andy's Room performance from Desmond Ridder? To me, this is another example of kind of, well, there are positives to take away from Ridder. There really are. I just do kind of wonder a little bit of like, I'll just say this, these games can't happen. They just can't happen. If you're trying to make sure that you're able to get to the playoffs, you have to be better than this. And there were just too many mistakes made. I'm not saying that like everything was his fault. It wasn't. And he had some good plays. Like that last drive was a good drive by him. Didn't quite end up in a touchdown, but he had a really good drive that nearly got him back into the football game. But you need more than just two good drives in a football game if you're going to win it at the NFL level. I mean, let's be honest. Andy's Room, that's a tough place to play, right? You got to be better than that. And, you know, I'm not saying Ridder can't be, just in this specific game. He wasn't here. So, you know, that's why they're 2-2 and easily could be 3-1 or even better with a couple better performances these past 2 weeks from Ridder. At least that's how I see it. But yeah, what do you think? Let me know. What are your thoughts of Desmond Ridder's performance? Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.